Next
put one in the
category
wing.
is
Best musical or most outstanding musical? Best musical.
okay.
We're
The
the critics. We can say what we
category
like.
is Crybaby,
Yes.
In the Heights, Passing Strange, and Xanadu.
Yes. Now here is another situation where there is a show that I don't think will win, but I wouldn't be disappointed if it did, and that is Xanadu.
Don't
Because,
be so
again,
surprised.
It's so cleverly done.
It ain't gonna win Best Music.
I don't know.
No, it will
I'm
not.
having moments of Avenue Q against Wicked.
Oh, I see.
And you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of little extras that go on there too. I mean, not Avenue Q.
Xanadu.
Xanadu is really well liked by the people who
Yes.
are in the industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so enjoyable, and they're doing just like Avenue Q did. They're kind of making this big election for the.
But there's one difference. Avenue Q had an original score.
Good point. Very good
And
point.
Yeah.
that goes
that's
a
true.
long way.
Yeah.
Plus, you have two musicals. You have In the Heights, and you have
I think
Strange.
Passing Strange, which have these uniquely anti-Broadway scores.
I know, but I'm thinking
They'll cancel each other
they
out, you
could
think?
split the vote. Crybaby will take votes. People love Crybaby.
Really? I don't.
do-
Oh, I like
I don't see
Crybaby.
why Crybaby was nominated.
I do.
mean,
It's
I would
it's
have
a
put
great,
Young
it's a really,
Frankenstein
it's
in
really
here.
a lot of fun musical.
Eh.
It's a lot of fun to watch.
It's
Well, this is
no Hairspray.
I don't think it's that much lower than Hairspray.
Yeah.
Hairspray was good.
I-
Crybaby is good too. And I think in this case, it's the opposite of the people went in with low expectations. They saw some
Yes.
reviews, and then they go, "Oh, right, Crybaby's funny. It was good."
Yeah.
I still think Young Frankenstein is a much better show, even with the low. Even if it's not the producers, I still enjoy that much better on pretty much every level there is, rather than Crybaby.
Which Hairspray? Which
Young
Young
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
I'm sorry.
I
Hairspray
think
wasn't nominated
They're
this
pretty
year.
much even. I think Frankenstein and Crybaby. I think they're pretty
I'd have to see
similar
Frankenstein
shows.
again to actually.
But let's
okay. So
let's
do
get
we
down
think-
to it. I think it's going to come down to In the Heights or Passing Strange.
Well,
I think
yes.
there's a major push for Passing Strange, but I would tilt it ever so slightly toward In the Heights because I think it's got a better story.
I think In the Heights will win Best Musical. I might throw my vote to Passing Strange, though, if I were voting, just because I like the music more, and I think it carried all the... I mean, there are parts of Passing Strange that are kind of overextended and a little
Yes.
bit like, get
Especially
on
at-
with it, get
especially
out
at
of
the
Germany,
end.
you know, but In the Heights has real second act trouble for me. It loses a lot. It didn't off-Broadway. Off-Broadway, I was pretty excited by it. When I saw it on Broadway again, I was like, that didn't quite fix it. It's a little much of a muchness.
Interestingly, I have the same problem with Passing Strange.
Uh-huh.
I don't think either of them have great books. And we'll get to that when we get to Best Book
Okay.
of a Musical. Right, you know,
If
we'll
we
do
get to it,
we'll do
yeah.
Best Book of a Musical next because a lot of this.
So I don't get an opinion.
Well, what do you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What will you vote for, and what do you think will win?
I'm telling
You're
you.
going to vote for Xanadu. You would vote. So
No, I don't know.
That's a
I
respectable choice.
I think all four of them could just the way people vote.
Okay.
It's not going to be a wide margin that any one musical
Is anybody
wins.
upset that a catered affair is not part of this category?
No, definitely
I like
not.
the catered affair. I
Really?
did, but not.
You're in the
enough
you're
to
in the
put it-
minority.
Yeah,
I did not like
It's a
the
nice
Catered
little
Affair.
story.
It's a good story.
It's a
but-
good story, but it's really not a good musical.
Okay,
At least, you know.
it touched me here and there.
Okay.
In special places. No,
Yeah, but I really think if any of the musicals that win will be fine with me. I mean, I did enjoy Xanadu. I think it just should get booked rather than.
Well,
it may win. Book.
going over
That's
to
the
book,
thing.
I think it will. And interestingly, the exact same roster is nominated for Best Book of a Musical. It's Crybaby, In the Heights, Passing Strange, and Xanadu. Here again, I think Young Frankenstein has a better book than any of these shows. Now, the question
Arguable, but
is,
possible, yeah.
the question is, you know, how much credit will they give the book writer on these shows, and how much credit will they give the director? Now, if I think they're going strictly on the book, well, because again, Passing Strange and In the Heights are getting attention because of they have different
Passing Strange has
scores,
no book.
and they have
Not true.
the staging.
It has a story, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have a book. Passing Strange is just Stu talking. And I don't know.
No, it's a
what
little
to
more
say.
than that.
Much more than
It's
that.
more than that.
And
Stu
Stu's
doesn't
language
talk.
is marvelous.
Stu narrates.
He narrates, but there's also
And,
character
and he's very clever, and,
Yeah.
and his narration is very.
I don't know. I
very clever.
I really
aside.
like Passing Strange a lot more than I thought I would.
Really?
See, and for me, it's the most quotable show of the year. I mean, lines would fly out at me, not just in songs, but in Stu's narration, in things they were saying to each other, and I was like, whoa, that's a wonderful line. And
I
that
think
happened again and
it's
again.
a very smart show, but I really think, honestly, I
think Xanadu.
I think Xanadu because
Xanadu
they took this terrible. I mean, everything. It's really funny because other than Passing Strange and In the Heights, the other two are based on movies. And one was a good movie, and one was a terrible movie.
Right.
So what he did is they took this terrible, terrible movie, which means horrible book, and they just kept the score, which was just an 80s score.
Well, ELO.
Now we're going to have to move a little faster, guys. All right, original
Not
score.
to mention
Interestingly, The Little Mermaid did make it, I think largely on the strength of the songs that came over from the movie.
Well, they couldn't have done that, could they? In other words, there
are
new
new songs, and apparently the committee decided that there were enough for it to warrant.
Yeah.
And
I'm
again,
sorry, no.
This is Howard Ashman, Alan Menken, and Glenn Slater.
Slater.
So, and it's not, it's a good score, although not nearly as well executed on Broadway as it was in the movie.
Good point. Yeah, no, I mean, for me, I would have liked to see Young Frankenstein in this category because the score, I mean, it's not a wonderful score, but neither was producers. Yeah. They're good, they're serviceable, and clever.
And Sutton Foster is a great yodeler. But of the shows here, will it be Crybaby, In the Heights, Little Mermaid, or Passing Strange? I think it's going to come down to Passing Strange or In the Heights because that's just the way the wind is blowing this year. And again, their scores are very unconventional. In fact, at one point, Stu says, we wanted to write a real Broadway song for this part of the show, but we don't know how to write Broadway songs. So,
and then he writes a couple. I hope
it's a very Broadway score.
Passing Strange wins for this. I think it has the best score. In the Heights has the overall feel of it, and I think In the Heights will win for best musical. And
wouldn't that be interesting if it won best musical, nothing else?
Stranger things have happened.
I think also Lin-Manuel Miranda has a good shot at the actor slot there.
So your choice.
And set. It's a wonderful set. But,
your choice, David.
For them to pick, or
for
who
will win? Who will win?
Who will win
best
for score? Passing Strange.
Okay. Who should win?
Passing Strange.
Jeffrey.
See, now I think that In the Heights will win for score.
Possible.
Because I think, and to tell you the truth, the other... Passing Strange is fine too with me. I mean, so I'm fine either way with those two.
I think it will be Passing Strange. I think Passing Strange does have better songs. Sometimes I notice like a couple of false rhymes in the Heights score. Again, both unique scores, both very different, and both welcome on Broadway.
But also the rhymes are false because the beat is.
And they twist the rhymes specifically. I mean, it's coming out of a rap and hip hop and salsa genre, not
actor in a play.
Broadway. Actor.